Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome back to another episode. I think we're well beyond 50 episodes in a year of The Ways We Move, the podcast that highlights innovative mobility solutions and the people behind them. My name is Nicholas Ard, and I am your host on this podcast, at least for the foreseeable future. And today I want to introduce yet again another special person. And this is someone I met at the AAM Masterclass in Rome 2025 for her enthusiasm, for her blend of artist and engineering, usually architects are, and for the a very unique person that she is, and eventually became a friend. And her name is Mabel Miranda, and she's the CEO of PAX One PAX, a company that is an architecture company for airports. What's unique about One PAX is that they have already embraced advanced air mobility. They've embraced the future of mobility. And in this special episode, Mabel says something that I fell in love with, but she calls them the architect of space. And I love that idea of not seeing a terminal simply as a building, but more of a how do we get people to move from one place to another, which led to the whole idea of architects of space. But it goes really much further than that. And our conversation took a turn that delighted me towards the end, where we start to look at ancient philosophies and civilizations about how they sort of viewed mobility in general, mobility between different tribes, different communities. And that's something that's very near and dear to me, as I'm launching another podcast and another webcast on exactly just that. And what do ancient civilizations and wisdom have to teach our modern world today? And they're not really dissimilar at all. You may find, as in the case for today, that a lot of the people who work in these industries of ours, mainly mobility and transportation, actually have a very rich spiritual background for some reason or another. We just don't talk about it as often. And I hope we eventually do. But anyway, that's besides the point. Right now, we'd like to introduce Mabel. And again, please like, share, subscribe, tell us what you think. And again, a warm thank you for everybody making this podcast a reality. Because of you, we're now at 930 downloads in less than a year for such a niche podcast. It is beyond my wildest hopes of making a successful podcast. So we encourage you to share. We encourage you to tell one another about this podcast. If you know anyone who would be a good fit on the podcast, we get emails all the time. We're very happy to look at yours. And also, if you know anybody who works in other parts of mobility, I'm looking for people in the railroad industry, in the maritime world. Please let us know what you're doing. We'd love to have you on the podcast. Well, without any further ado, let's hear from Mabel. And I hope you'll be surprised by this one, because I certainly was pleasantly surprised. So meet Mabel Miranda, the CEO of One PAX. Well, Mabel, welcome to The Ways We Move. Please introduce yourself. Who is Mabel?
Hi, Nicholas. It's nice to see you again. Okay, thank you very much for inviting me to this podcast. Actually, I'm a founder. I'm an architect, also a fan of many things, but among the things I do, I am interested in mobility and architecture. Basically, I'm an architect of movement, which is quite beautiful to say.
That's so beautiful. I love that. Architects of Movement. Oh, that's going to be the title of this podcast. Love it.
This is how we define ourselves, because I am not alone. Of course, I have a firm of about 30 people, architects and engineers together. So our focus is to create meaningful passenger experiences. So we are focused on passengers, whatever the mobility mode, whatever is air, sea, earth, whatever. So we are and with pedestrians and movement, because we also do kind of urban studies. So
That's right.
basically this is what we do. And I am like also Peruvian. So I am very much interested in this field of mobility since my young age. And yeah, so that's me.
I love it because you found the title of this podcast, Architects of Movement. I love it. And the fact that one of the reasons I wanted to have you here is, for those who don't know, we met when we were in Rome at the AAM Masterclass. And I just clicked with you. I connected with you. But I thought it was really interesting what you do because you don't just work with airports, you also work with a lot of other mobility segments, mobility industries. And you have a very good understanding of something that, well, we're still lacking in advanced air mobility, and that's that passenger experience. So it would be good to hear what you guys have to think about that. How do you understand advanced air mobility? And then after that, I'll give you my definition. But I'd like to know how do you guys see that happening?
Okay, so first of all, it was kind of like impressive for us. Like, oh my God, we're going to fly. Like, flying as a daily base. We're talking about, because flying is not a daily base. We are working, but in flying, it's like for go on vacations, or the ones that I'm count myself on that group, people that have the chance to travel because of their work.
Yep.
But that's not the majority. Not the majority of people. It's like an event to travel. So, and when we started to talk about advanced air mobility, it was daily base. It's like taxi. It was like taking the bus. So for me, it was like, actually for me, at least for my company experience in 2022, we start talking about this with some startup, the Skyports. They want to bring air taxis to everybody. So for me, mind blowing. So I discovered a whole new world, and we helped them to build this first vertiport in Paris. Because we had the background, we were in the airport, so we understand the context, and the perfect place, the lab is going to be the airport. And after that, I made a couple of research and courses regarding this topic because I was really intrigued by this. And I discovered people that they were prospecting about open this mobility, this urban air mobility. Look what this says, urban air mobility, to everybody, including countries like my country. This is how we get there, countries that are in development, they're like a little bit free, like when I say free is because they're still in movement, they're forming themselves.
I like that term free.
Yes, they're recreating and creating themselves. So it really clicked on me because it says that it's not a linear time. It's like, because our material in our company, since we do mobility, it's the time. So time is our matter. It's like matter. We work with time because we project to the future. We project. This is our time.
Absolutely.
The time is the material. So I said, they project
Wow.
how countries like my country or African countries or maybe Southeast countries in Asia, they could like simply jump from an underdevelopment state to a hyper development state. We know intermediates. So that was like kind of mind blowing for me, and this is how it. So this pragmatic experience plus this theoretical experience I had made that I got really interested in this, and I'm pushing my company to do. So what we are doing now is basically we're making a toolkit. We're making toolkit so everyone can know, everyone, every single company can know how advanced air mobility will affect the future. So you can know by opening how you can apply to you. So maybe it's too early to to launch this, but yeah, this is
I don't know.
basically what I have imagined is the people in my country where, like, it's in the Andes. We have people in the Amazonian forest that are completely disconnected with really
Completely
poor
different.
economy. They're in another world. So
Yeah.
basically, if they
Sure.
have this mobility for them, either logistical, either private, either for passengers, as I say, tripulated or non-tripulated mobility. This is the beauty of this. This is not just for people, it's for goods, for things. They can serve themselves on these in a way they can use it for their development. Like the lady or the agricultural like community,
Yes.
they
Yes.
can export their things
Yeah.
without moving, without passing through a machine of system and endless bureaucracy, and they can just deliver things to the people they want.
Directly. Wow.
So they just reconnect. So it's huge, the potential. I mean, view from my side, like view from South American context, but
Wow.
also from European countries that will accelerate small economies. So this is the thing that I found really interesting in that. It's quite cool.
Wow. I wish I had that emoji, where the mind goes poof like this, because I never thought about it this way, but it's true. And I'm sorry, because we focus so much on the US, Europe, and Asia, but I was always thinking it would be nice to also connect all the dots down where you are. But you're right, the local economy, helping people in the agricultural land to not have to use big trucks that have to go through frontiers, that have to go through, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Amazonian forest, like we are
Yes.
thinking about it very much, like connecting
Yes.
Amazonian
Yes.
forests it's like the blank of the world, the whole planet Earth. So why, if we want to connect all these, we forcefully need to destroy the full ecosystem to get there. So in this way, we're kind of respectful. I still have some connection, but I'm speculating a lot. So it's kind of a research and development idea, and also kind of very pragmatic economical idea.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
people embrace, it's like computers, like phones. People were scared at the beginning.
Yep.
Oh, what is it?
Yep.
Screen? And China and I think this mobility, electrical mobility based on drone, is the same. People will get used to it. It's like the phones. It's the same. It will be the future, but we are still on the early stage, and
Yes.
it's quite passionate to see. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? We do say that it is a once in a lifetime revolution, and we're living it for sure. So we're very lucky. Our generations are super lucky. But I like how you guys think about it. Time is the material here. And so as an architecture, you're right. You're used to building things, but here you're really building an experience. You're building how people will get to it, how they will travel, how they will use it, and to benefit their society, their local community there. So that's
Have a
something.
video.
Excuse me.
I will send it to you later for the podcast. We have a video because in Peru
Okay.
we're very famous for the food. Okay, so we did a video where our local team. Perhaps we have several teams in France, in Belgrade, China, but a team in Peru is quite specific because we have quite the big team. So they did a video, and I will send it to you. They are the fishermen, like the fishermen making their work. They have built a floating platform for drone. It's a AI video, and we
Bingo.
put the fish there. The guys, the really local economists, they put the fish there in the platform. It's a floating deck for a heliport. It's like a drone port.
Yep.
And this goes to the market. It just goes to anywhere.
Directly.
To the 5-star restaurant. I don't know. And it's there. And that's it. And then you receive, and the fish is still alive.
It's
crazy. It's crazy. So we're so much fun on this. Imagining this, or like more practical things, less banal, like eating, and maybe like health or saving people from danger, and all this.
absolutely.
And
And also like bringing medicine also to far away populations. Those are hard to reach. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So in this toolkit we're preparing, because what we want is people to get informed. So we're building this little by little because it's kind of, it's not a full-time job for us. So we have architectural work, but we still made time to try to
Yes.
contribute with this, you know. So yeah, you will see it in short.
I can't wait to see it. And if I can help, let me know because I'm right up my alley. Education, communication. We need to get people to understand what it is. That's the whole point. It's interesting because you actually gave a really big part of my definition of advanced air mobility, which is really it's not just aviation; it's everything, right? We're also going to the places where helicopters can't, where airplanes can't. We're sort of the glue that bonds rail, any kind of rail, light or normal heavy duty rail, to roads, to the maritime world, to anything. It's going to be that little connection that you can get to all of these places, airport to railroad to all of this when they're not next to each other. So you gave it a whole human dimension that is even more beautiful. And of course, I mean, if we can
Another
save the
video, it's also very fun. It's like the ladies, like, dress with their coat, with the nice clothes
yes,
in purple, white with the colors. They're collecting potatoes. We have 4,000 kinds of potatoes of all,
I
every kind.
know.
And
Yes, and the purple
this
tomato potatoes and all that. Yummy, yummy, yum. I
purple,
love potatoes.
yellow, oranges, all the colors, red, purple, whatever. And we have some idea to say, what if they can learn how to use this and just learn how to use it, and they can export these like potatoes that are so unique, you know imagine. So we did that. We were like scotch. They say, oh my god, this will change the world, basically. So if we manage to drive it, so the way we see it is like, before we were doing like, the urbanism, as we say. Urb is a city, you know
Yep, that's right.
yeah, but we also thought about the orb as a thing coming from the ground. And what we are changing now is that the ground is not enough. It's not
Yes.
maybe enough. We're realizing that, like some big companies like Tesla, they're realizing, but they have other answers.
Of
In
course.
our case, we're saying maybe we should look for other alternatives. So if the ground is not enough, let's do air, let's do sea, let's do something different. And we start talking about air urbanism. And that air urbanism, it's exactly what we came to do on this kind of mobility. The most important thing to understand is not why we move, it's the things we move.
Mm.
Why we move is like very personal, but the things we move is our knowledge, is products, is goods, is the exchange. This is why we move. If there is no why, we don't move. We stay home. So this is the most important thing. And now the chain of movement is really long. Now people have to go through intermediates,
True.
intermediates go to companies, companies go to distribution, distribution goes to the city. So it's very long. So with advanced air mobility, all this could be short. And this works.
It makes a lot of sense for a country like yours where you produce a lot of things and of course you export a lot of things. And you're right, all of those little steps in between, well, of course the prices go up, so you have a potential to actually not only keep the prices low, but make sure that the originator gets a lot of that original price too, because it dissipates into all the middlemen and everything needed when you need trucks and things like that. So I
There's
I
still
understand where you're coming
middleman.
from.
There's still middleman. There's some exceptional guys will avoid the middleman. They just like, they can. I mean, we were talking about this in Rome. I was already think about it. And when people were
Yes.
giving so good ideas there, it's incredible. Like in locally plays, Italians were talking about their cheese. They were talking about their prosciutto, and I'm talking about
That's
potatoes. And
true. That's true.
so it's really interesting, like for each culture, it's applicable. So everybody will have something to do. And this is the beauty of the thing. It has to be regulated and it has to be secure.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that's the most important. So
Yeah.
now completely focus on how to make it realistic.
So is your government taking an active interest in this, or are there still in a wait and see kind of procedure? Because it seems like you guys have already looked at it, thought about it. You have a product already there.
Actually, it's very funny because our company is based in France. In France, they were very interested, and suddenly they are not uninterested, but they're slowing down.
Yes.
They
Yes.
see the difficulties, and they see like a realistic shock. They're in
Yep.
that stage. Our project is Shanghai. It's much more dynamic, but still, although they have the will, but they still are looking for the tools. And this is why we went to China, because people are really thinking how we make it, how we are going to make it. So this is the
Yes.
interesting
Yes.
part. In South America, it's really early. So we're start to speaking about some people, and they're like very pragmatic. Say, okay, for the health, yes, that's good. For the really remote territories, it's really interesting because today it's
Yes.
impossible to go to we spoke with our colleagues in Chile, we spoke with our colleagues
Yeah.
in Bolivia. It's days of trip to go to some
Yep.
communities, and it's quite sad to have this level of disconnection. And at the same time, it's still the territory of the country. So if you still want the territory to be yours, you have to be present. Otherwise, something will happen there. No, so they're forced to do that. They have subventions for the people that want to live in those remote areas, and yeah, there is like this first interest because it's quite, let's say, interesting to explore advanced air mobility for health conditions, or even to vehicle the educational, material. Instead of waiting 1 month, you will wait 1 week. It's quite interesting. So the reflection is there. Still, they don't see like an urban mobility. No, this is us as we are seeing.
Right.
We
Right. Yes. Yes.
they are thinking in the urban. They are in the pragmatic space for now. No, but it's good because they're really they are in the pragmatic. So before Blade Runner, we need to make it useful. No? So I completely agree with that approach.
That makes a lot of sense because I remember you reminded me we were in Santiago one day and we wanted to go to Mendoza and we took the bus all the way up on the Andes and it was a 10-hour trip and it was amazing. But I thought we always forget how big countries are, and it's really hard to get from
There
one
is no
place
one.
to another.
At one moment you leave, there is nobody. It's amazing,
Nobody.
beautiful, but it's
empty. It's like, when we were up there, it was like being on the moon. Rocks. And that's it. Gray rocks. And that was it. And I thought, if we have a flat tire, we're finished here.
Blowing, but it's empty.
It is mind-blowing.
You know what? My shock when I realized it was a couple of years ago in for 5,000 meters in Arequipa, and a place like Salinas. It's called it's a salt lake.
Salt Lake, yeah.
It's salt lake at 5,000 meters. In Peru, we have in Bolivia. They also have a famous one, Uyuni, but this one is in Arequipa. It's behind our volcano, so very famous. And I was there with my sister, and we went to travel. And the day I found out that, my God, people are smart. So we should not, let's say, underestimate our colleagues.
Yes.
These guys, they just realized this was like a very beautiful landscape. The guys, like native persons, they had the idea to bring motorcycles. So they brought the motorcycles, and me and my sister rent a motorcycle. It's a four wheels, not 2, 4.
Yeah, a quad.
It's a quad.
Perfect.
A quad. Yeah, a quad. So we rent the quad, but they were dressed totally typical with their quad. That's image you will never think about, because you think about them on the llamas, bringing their sheep, Here they are in quad. So this is how I say.
Bingo. Bingo.
Yeah, they
That
can learn
or an
everything.
eVTOL,
Can learn.
same
Yeah,
thing. That's
as
that's
long as
fascinating.
it is, it's fascinating. So and we were there and everything, and said, wow, they're super modern.
Yes, yes, yes,
We are
yes.
5,000 meters over the sea level. There's nothing
But still,
around. You have satellite
but
internet.
yeah, you have satellite. You also have a lot of sun, so you can have a lot of energy that you can create out there. I mean,
Electrical.
it makes a lot of sense. You're also reminding me a lot about China, actually, since you mentioned I'm a tea lover, so I've been to the Southwest where they do a lot of the pu'ers and things like that, and always amazed to see these people with their local traditional clothes, but on little mopeds with their tons of tea behind and everything, and I was like, there you go, modern adaptation. And that's exactly it. So you saw the same thing too there. That makes me happy. Wow.
It's not because we are very much incarnated in our culture that we cannot embrace technology.
No,
Uh,
no.
this is
And
very strong because it's proven. Africa now, they
yes.
embrace completely technology, and
Yeah.
in our country,
Yeah.
South America, also people embrace technology. They understood. So it's not an obstacle anymore. It's not about do we have highways, metro? We don't, or in some countries they don't. So the gap will be very dramatic
Yeah.
once it's done. No, I heard of some startup in Brazil. They're building drone for construction materials to heavy logistical transportation because they're thinking about the Amazonian forest. They're thinking about bringing enough weight, bringing these materials to the top, to the areas that they don't have connection. So we never know what it will happen there if they don't need
That's
any kind
true.
of. Yes, and without forgetting the combination. So even stronger than the aerial mobility itself is the effect, the effect of
Yes.
the pure infrastructure. If you combine this with fluvial, or you combine this with maritime, if you combine this with electrical, like or train or
Yep.
metro,
Yeah.
you will repotential the connectivity and the regions.
And
So
that's true.
everything,
That's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened in Africa when they were trying to put copper lines for, phone lines and everything. And of course, that kept taken down. And then they went directly to Wi-Fi satellites. And look at that. I mean, it's one of the most
go
connected
to
countries
satellite. Directly. Why to do everything on from the
directly.
beginning? So we just go satellite. Exactly.
And it's interesting because I've been doing a lot of research into like very ancient societies. I'm talking about, well over 2,000, 6,000 years old. I've always wondered if, because I know that the Indians in India, right, and in the Vedas, they talk about flying saucers and everything. I've always wondered if your culture way back then were talking about flying mystical things, because that would also be in the psyche of people and that would make it very easy to jump into an eVTOL after all. So that's my next research I have to look into.
Yeah. In Andean culture, but also Mexican, so some countries in South America, and I believe also in other countries. I'm not saying we are the only ones. They had a really interesting way to, let's say, embrace the world.
Yes.
We have what is called the miniaturization. So when you want something, you just have it small. So let's say you want a house, so you have a small house like this. First, you own this little thing, like a symbolic, like an icon, and everything like money, car. So we had some kind of like a very specific shape. Is like a demon. Actually, they call it demon, but it's not a demon. It's like some creature, let's say, and this creature brings like a lot of bags. It's called ekeko. Okay, so
Kiko.
ekeko, he is the guy walking with a lot of bags, and in the bags, it's like a house. It's like man. It's the car, the diploma, is everything you. It is like tiny. It's tiny.
Wow.
So It's like
I
a
like.
shrink. It's like a pictogram of what you want. In
Yeah,
visualizing it
yeah.
like this, you have it. So I have the pictogram already. So my pictogram is a reality. So my next step is to go to.
It's already there.
Yes, and when you visit our monuments and stuff, you will see that this is totally true. In the representations, when we design abundance, it's like little things that are representing abundance. In every culture, a little bit differently. We
Of
represent
course,
the
of course.
abundance, the like the scarce. When there's scarce, and you represent that.
Scarcity. Yep, yep.
Yes, exactly. So
It's
maybe culturally, we're very familiarized with the. First, you need to shrink it and have it in this shape, in this
in
size,
that symbolize a size.
and
Yes.
symbolize, and
You
you
know,
own that.
it's and you own it. So it's fascinating because it means that people are used to getting to a point. They're used to starting there and then growing it bigger and bigger, which is really the opposite of our society here in the US, which is I want everything right now, big and everything and all that good stuff. But it gets right back to what the Native Americans are like that too. It's like one step at a time, we'll get there and everything. You have to like take everything into.
Same.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's very interesting. I've always been fascinated to see how cultures like yours, like India or even China, were going to embrace this new step of advanced air mobility because I mean your cultures are so ancient. There's a lot of richness in it all, and it's kind of bringing in that beautiful wisdom from the past, but now with what flying electric aircraft. So what? Maybe there's a circle right around. We're coming back in a circle here or something like that. Interesting.
It's quite. I don't think, for example, ancient Mayas or Aztecas or Peruvians or Egyptians were completely foreign to the air.
God, no.
As a matter
no.
of fact, I think they were more aware than our society do, because, for example, I take the Nazca lines that are in Ica
Yes.
or in Sisawa. It's a clear example that we're completely aware about the air. So, and the
Yes. Yes.
position of
Yes.
temples, when you analyze how the Egyptians position it and how South American cultures and American and Central American cultures position, it
Yes.
means they would completely understand everything what is
Yeah.
happening
It's
without
it's
having maybe the technology to go there, but the understanding the
maybe
the
or maybe it came from already out there. Who knows? And that's the one thing that I
that's
always grew up never understanding. Like conventional archaeology. I'm like, wait, you're telling me that these guys did that with sandals and without knowing what the pulley was and moving 400-ton blocks? Whoa, come on, guys. That makes
whoa.
no sense. Makes no sense, right? I mean, they aligned it perfectly to the equinox and come on. What are you doing? This is ridiculous. So I'm glad you broached that because that is interesting. And also another thing too that I was always hoping is companies from the south of, in your case, South America would give like original, like traditional old names. Like as much as I'm hoping the Indian companies are going to give like Vedic names or something like that, I think it would be great to see that. It'll be a good idea because I mean, in Europe, we're not a very ancient society either, but at least in the US, we're not either. So it would be nice to get a little bit of that, human flair and that modern technology kind of thing.
I mean, when we call the company One Pax, it's because a lot of people laugh at us. Like, really, huh? I am not saying who, but people laugh at us and say 1 million packs, 1,000 million. No, I would say you didn't get anything. One. That's not a lot of packs.
It's not that, yes.
Yeah, but it was not the meaning. It was that, as you know, big transformation starts with very small changes, like fundamental. And this is
Yes.
what we meant. It's
That's
because when you change one, probably you change all of them, like the full 8,000 million, because you changed the one. And once you understand what the one is doing differently, you will do the same. It's basically the technology, let's say, the technological evolution.
Yeah. It's quantum sciences all over again, the
It's
art of
quite science.
manifestation. Yeah, you start, first journey, the first part of the journey is that first step of the journey. That's exactly it. Wow. Mabel, I had no idea where we're gonna go into sort of a esoteric aspect of advanced air mobility, and I love it because that's my backyard. I love that, so that's perfectly fits with what I think. We're also approaching the time now where we start to ask a little bit more personal questions, and one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, why are you doing this? What is your motivation? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What makes you travel all over the world?
I guess is okay. Why I do that is because I am bored when everything is the same. I like when everything is new, like constant change and always projecting things into the future. You know, I'm interested about the future. Why I don't know why. It's like some guys write about the future or guy tell stories. I think I'm a storyteller. This is the. I think this is why. I think I'm an architect, but I'm a storyteller too. So I need to combine
Wow.
these two words, and that's why we do airports because they are stories, they are journeys.
Yes.
When we do the advanced air mobility, it's the same. We're telling a story. Where are we going? Who are the person?
Yes.
The characters? What are they doing? Are they a lady? It's a fisherman. Me? It's you. It's who is the car? What transformation we're driving? And I think that's why the architecture of movement is important, and it comes exactly to our definition. So basically, I think all the architects are a little bit architects of movement when they design and draw a building, and you go through a cinematic experience. This is architecture. Basically, when you start architecture, you will discover that it's like a journey in the building. In our case, it's the journey that goes under. It's not just the journey in the building; it's the journey before and after what is
It is.
happening.
Yeah.
So
And
I
I, I,
think
I
it's that.
I have to, it's always fun talking to you guys or designers because you have such a different take on what we're doing. And sometimes, we hear a lot about engineers, and I love talking to engineers, but you guys
They are
bring out the
beautiful. I like.
magic out of it. It's like that ineffable. I mean, it's hard to put your fingers on it, but you guys do a really good job at that. And you certainly did a good job at that. You're right. You are a storyteller, and your prime material is time because we're moving through time. We're moving from one place to another. So I love everything you said. It's very poetic. You're the most poetic person I've ever met in advanced air mobility. So I love it.
No, no. Okay, I am not an artist. Artists are the ones, other people, but we are architects.
You
I
are
said
artists,
architects of
architects.
movement. We're architects of movement. We
Yeah, I
design.
think I think you guys are like right between left brain and right brain. You're sort of in between the pure artist or the pure engineer. You're sort of like you're the one that brings it all together into something that, well, ideally looks good. So yeah, I think that's
Hopefully,
probably a good. Yeah, hopefully, exactly. No, I think you do. I think you do. Tell us also, for those who are watching this podcast right now, what would you like them to know? What would you like them to walk away with? Do you have a message for people?
a message for people. I mean, the world is very beautiful. It worth to be known. Don't hear people that say you should stay on the same place. Don't. It's terrible. It's when you are away, when you learn to love what you have. This is what I say. So travel is health.
So true. So
Travel is
true.
health. Moving is health. Moving is life. So life, live. So this is
Yep.
my message is if we are moving is because we are alive. And I would say nothing brought me, at least in my case, more happiness than to move around and know people around the
You're
world. Okay, I
so
went, I
right.
had the luck. I was the luck. I am lucky to go in very long, far
Very
than
far away places. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's true. And you're right about it's once you move away from where you were born that you appreciate it when you come back. And especially when you bring people back to show you and then they are like, oh, wow, did you see this? Did you see this? And all of a sudden you're like, Yeah, it's very beautiful here, isn't it?
I didn't notice. I mean, the people that never travel, they can say that they are shocked when they see cultures that are very different. And this is when
Yes.
you appreciate more your place, first of all, and you learn more about yourself. So the best is to move knowing this, to open yourself to the need. Okay, you don't need to be crazy like some people, like going everywhere. You don't
Yes.
need to exaggerate on this as well.
No, stay one night here, one night there. No, 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 no.
No, no, no.
Experience it.
Experience, no go. Yeah, yes, definitely. I think is a good advice for some people that need to see other realities, and you learn. So that's why I believe it's completely human to move,
Yeah.
to go,
Yeah,
and
it
I
is.
think it's written in our genes, in our DNA, since
Well,
human species started.
yeah, I mean, if we hadn't moved, we'd still be in little villages. We probably wouldn't have done diddly squat, you know, there would be no interactions, there would be nothing. I mean, it would be impoverished
We will be so
completely.
poor, we will be.
Yeah,
That's the real
yeah.
poverty, I think.
That's real
That's
poverty
that's
right there. You said
that's
it
real
well.
poverty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because here, some people are poor in some countries, but they're not poor in human relationships. They're not poor in wisdom. They're not poor in sense of humor.
Yes,
They're
yes.
rich and other stuff. So that's yeah. So my message is like move, no
I
move,
love
move.
it. Mabel, it's been such a great podcast to record with you. You took me on such a different route that I thought I was gonna, I was gonna ask you more like traditional questions, but we went
Yeah,
into yeah, I loved it. Oh, this is great. This is great. And I think also it helps a lot of people to understand yes, yes, exactly. But it helps people understand also like we're so different all of us working in this industry. You've got some down to earth, rational creatures. You've got some people who are out there looking at the stars. And that's what makes the world go round, I think, in the end. So it was such a pleasure to have you here. And please come back whenever you want. And that's an open invitation. Love to hear from you. Love to hear from your travels, what you guys are doing around the world, because you're doing some really interesting. And I definitely want to see that experience, that toolbox that you guys are coming up with. So, and if I can help with
yeah,
it, let me
yeah,
know
yeah.
because I
You
will
have
help. That sounds like a
you
lot of
have
fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's going to be. I think we will clarify the landscape, and we will show that it's
Good.
easy if we want. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, yeah. That's the goal. Show that it's
That's the
easy.
goal.
Exactly. Nicholas,
Perfect.
thank
Well,
you for this time. I enjoyed a lot to discuss with you.
maybe
To
likewise. I
Yes.
always love I always love our conversations. So anytime you want to come back, you will come back. And for you guys, please like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Has your mind changed? I mean, did you get anything out of this? I certainly hope you did. And then we'll see you next week again, same place, same time, more or less, but next week. Thank you, Mabel. Ciao.
Thank you. Bye. Ciao.